Good afternoon. Great to be back at it here in the bubble. Bowl, our first real official bowl practice, number one. I think I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate our all-conference selections. To have two players, really first-year starters, Tyler and PJ, to be picked as first-team all-conference, I think is an honor for them, and hopefully something they can build on it in their careers. And for Batim to be a second-team offensive lineman and Janarian to be the second-team return specialist, I think those are also always the most complimentary awards you get are when they're voted on by your peers. And we can't vote on our own players in this conference. You can only vote on the other team's players. And so for those four players to be selected, I think is special for them. And I know Stephen was announced as a freshman All-American, and that's an exclusive club to be in. And we're proud of what Stephen's accomplished so far this year and what his career holds for him. Questions?
Well, how was it the first practice back with the shortened staff? Did it go off without a hitch?
Yeah, I think it did. I don't think we had any logistical issues. We had the graduate assistants in place, and Darnell was able to work with the offensive linemen today, and Joe worked with the linebackers, and Sam Williams worked with our safeties with Darrell Wilson. So, we had enough manpower to do what we needed to do in practice. And I thought the players came out with really tremendous energy today. You could tell that they were raring to get going after having a week of not putting on the pads or putting on the helmets, and they came out and practiced with great energy today, and I think they really enjoyed themselves. I enjoyed coaching them today.
Do you kind of take it back a little bit now to bowl practices, try and get some guys healthy? What's kind of,
I don't think you could ever take it back at all when you're on the field. When you're on the field, you got to go. We've had a week to get our bodies healed up, and we've had a week to get ourselves academically prepared for the end of the semester, and that's really what last week was about. It was about, we did some lifting, we did a little bit of running, but for the most part it gave us a chance to get as healthy as we could, get academically prepared for what's going to happen now next week as finals begin. But when you're out here at practice, you got to go. You can't be thinking like that when you're on the field. So when we're out here, we're going to go, and when we're not, we're going to get healthy.
You said that you never sensed a feeling of frustration the last few weeks in this team before the final game where you clinched the bowl berth, but do you see any change in the mood of the team now? Maybe they were pressing a little bit to try and reach that goal, but now that they've got it, they're in the game. Do you see any change?
I think we had a little bit of frustration. I wouldn't have said that. I think what I said was I never felt discouragement.
Right.
That was the word, and I think there's a difference. There's nothing wrong with being frustrated. I mean, I think the coaches were frustrated. I think the players were frustrated. We all felt like we could perform better at times than we did. But it never became discouragement. It never affected the way we worked. And the reason I had confidence that we would play well is because I see it every day in practice. I see the young players out here working hard and getting better. And I think today was not a day to put in the game plan for Notre Dame. Today was a day for us to come out and get fundamentally better and get back to competing. And I think the players love that. I think they enjoy that. And they're very competitive on both sides of the ball, and I think that showed today with the energy you saw.
Did you notice them any looser though? Now that they've
I didn't notice that they were tight. So to me, it's not. I don't see them being any looser because at no point did I feel like they were tight.
When does the Notre Dame game preparation start?
That will start a week from today.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll start a week from today. We got a couple more practices we're going to get in this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Give us an opportunity to really continue to work with not just our older players, but our younger players, some of the guys who don't get all that work. And then next Saturday, we'll formally put in the Notre Dame game plan.
Kyle, does the defense look any different with Joe running?
I don't think so. I think the Rutgers defense is about the Rutgers defensive players, and the players are going to be out there, and we're coming off of one of the better performances we had all year, and I think that's a chance for us to build on that. But schematically, I don't think you'll see us look any different.
What is the difference to have a team back in there in South Florida?
I think having Batim as an option gives us a chance to coach the players through the game. Whether that's Batim, whether that's a guy like Chris Muller, whether it's a guy like Caleb Johnson, and then certainly the added security of having another center is always a positive. And I think all those things are good. And when you can take a guy out for a series and coach him and let him watch and then put him back in, those things are positives. They happen a lot at other positions. Sometimes on the offensive line, it's not the worst thing to be able to do that either.
You plan to keep him at guard or decide what he's going to do?
He'll play guard for the bowl game, but he'll be the next center in the game as well. Dallas will start the bowl game in center.
What are your goals for quarterback during these developmental practices?
Well, I think the goal for the quarterback doesn't really change. It's always the first and foremost, protect the football, make good decisions in the pocket so that we don't have negative plays, and then give the receivers, when you do throw it, a chance to make a play down the field by putting the ball in the right location. Those are the things we're going to look for all the time. And then for some of the younger guys who haven't had as much of a chance to do it, guys like Blake Rank and Chris Laviano are getting reps right now and getting a chance to run the operation, to be the guy in the huddle, to have the presence, to have to verbalize the plays, to be a great communicator at the line of scrimmage. Those are things that, like most things in life, you can only get better as you do them. So I think that's an added opportunity for them.
From what you've seen, how have Rossi and Prince done their new duties differently from their predecessors?
I don't know that I've seen a tremendous difference. I think their personalities are different, and that's probably the biggest difference.
Kyle, you've had guys leave early before. How are you dealing with it with Brandon and his decision and when he's going to make it?
Yeah, Brandon's going to have a chance to talk to you in a couple minutes, and we were excited when Brandon came back last year, and certainly we'd like everybody to come back for every year of eligibility they have left at Rutgers. But Brandon has talked to me, he's talked to his parents, and he has decided that this is going to be the best thing for him going forward, for his family, for his career, and we wish him nothing but the best. And it's always been my opinion, whether it was Kenny, whether it was Anthony, whether it was Ray, Muhammad, once the player makes that decision, then it's our job to give them all the support that we can, and he will have that, and we're looking forward to giving him the best send-off we can here at Shreve Bowl.